welcome back to the WIDEBODY Nation podcast, where you get an unfiltered look into the 2021 Dodge Charger HELLCAT REDEYE wide body. Also SRT. Don't forget about SRT, even though Dodge is forgetting about them. So today we're going to be talking about a couple little things, updates that I've noticed about this car. We've got about 571 miles on the vehicle now, so past that 500-mile break-in into full send territory. That's what we were just giving it about half throttle back there, now getting a little squirrely on the all seasons. Then we're going to talk about kind of day trading, investing, all the really catchy stuff that's going on right now. You know, Dogecoin, Bitcoin. Just some of my thoughts on more of a macro level. We're not going to be in the nitty-gritty, in the financials of anything. We're going to be more on the it's kind of, like I said, the macro, the philosophical side of the house, so that you can decide maybe whether or not you would really like to engage in any of those things, or if you want to kind of put your time and money elsewhere, right? And then lastly, I'm going to bring up, because we're on the money-making topic, I'm going to talk about TURO a little bit. You know, TURO is the Airbnb for cars, you know, so basically instead of putting your house or apartment on the app to rent, you put your car on the app to car share, right? So let's jump into what's going on with the REDEYE here. Well, first of all, it drinks gas like it's the thirstiest thing ever. Like gas is going out of style, because I mean, we're getting like 13.5 mpg. I guess I deserve it because I do stuff like that at the beginning of the podcast, where I'm kind of getting into it, you know, going from 0 to the speed limit as quickly as possible, right? And as fun as possible. But yeah, 13, I'm gonna have to figure out something else to daily drive. I mean, daily driving the C8 would be financially more responsible, because the C8 can easily get into the 20s mpg wise, whereas this thing, yeah, 800 horsepower is not, especially an old supercharged V8. I mean, the technology in this is nothing really new. I mean, 2 fuel pumps, massive supercharger, massive V8, so not surprised there. And then, only other thing as far as car talk is these seats. These seats are like straight up couches. I feel like I'm in the fastest lazy boy chair out there. That's it. All right. Let's jump into the money. Let's jump into the day trading, the Dogecoin, the Bitcoin, the hot stocks, all that stuff, right? So I am not a financial advisor. I am, in fact, just some dude on YouTube who has a really weird car buying obsession. Kind of like Hoovie's Garage, except I like new cars, but I like used cars too. So a lot of people have been saying, "Ooh, I might want to start day trading. Ooh, I might want to start doing way more investing," or like a lot of active investing, right? A lot of like, "Ooh, let's do this," like shiny object syndrome, right? That's really what I'm getting after this. The shiny object syndrome is something that I have found has gotten me into trouble when I do not set aside enough time for that time, energy, money, right? So, in my opinion, certainly investing just in general is a great thing. You know, I've made a decent amount of money investing a lot of the proceeds that I've made from X, Y, and Z, job, business venture, TURO, all that good stuff, right? But where I have lost money is basically taking the fundamentals of what I was doing, and one of the reasons why I was making positive returns, and basically sacrificing them for the hope of a short-term profit, or kind of just playing, like almost borderline gambling, right? And it's honestly, it's really easy to gamble in the stock market, because you're like, oh no, this is responsible, I'm investing, right? I'm investing, I'm not gambling, you know, I'm not betting on a sports team, I'm not betting on the Super Bowl, I'm not betting against Tom Brady. I mean, who would do that? The guy's been to 10 Super Bowls in 21 seasons or whatever. He's won 7 out of 21, so it's kind of hard to bet against him. So anyway, 7 Super Bowls in 21 seasons he's played is what I'm saying. So every third year he wins 1 Super Bowl, which is bananas. Anyway, I guess all I would like to say, in my opinion, is if you would like to start day trading, go right ahead. But it's not for the faint of heart, just like many other things that involve money and professionals, right? So you need to block out a certain period of time, do your research, follow the fundamentals. I would recommend investing in some sort of course. I don't have a day trading course to recommend to you because I don't day trade seriously. I do trade on a daily basis sometimes, but I'm not sitting there like trying to eke out a certain margin with certain triggers for buying and selling, right? So, you know, I think there's a lot of shiny objects out there. Social media does a great job at really making us have FOMO, like fear of missing out, on everything. And you can't do 10 things at once. You can't be a Bitcoin investor and a Tesla investor and a Wall Street Bets investor and a short seller all at the same time and expect to make bananas returns if you're splitting yourself up all over the place like that. So personally, I'll just tell you what I do personally, and then we'll move on to TURO, because I know a good amount of you always ask me about TURO, and TURO might be the king of shiny objects, even more so than the stock market in some ways. So let me just not crash real quick. All right, cool. All right, so what I do, or actually what I have done that has been the most successful has been basically whenever I get paid, whether it's, you know, routinely by the Army, right, I get an Army salary, or when I have a larger, a more successful revenue month for rentals, so, you know, spring, summer, or even fall time. So like right now, there is not a lot of rentals, but when I get extra money, I look for good investments. So what I will do is I split it up between my own personal choice, which I trade on Webull. That's linked below for the free stocks, right? You sign up, you get free stocks. Gives me some free stocks too, so it's all good. I have my own portfolio that I manage of about 20 stocks, because if you have any more than 20, it's hard to keep track of them, right? So I manage about 20 stocks that are my personal picks. But then I also take part of that money, usually about half, and I'll go put it in M1 Finance into a pie. And I have found that just basically simply following a couple YouTubers and investing in pies or their recommendations, I usually do Meet Kevin and Zip Trader and Financial Education 1, 2, and 3. He has 3 different channels, but I kind of aggregate all of the good and bad points that they make and then create pies, either ones they provide on M1 Finance, or I do a little tweak and a little adjusting of my own, and then I put however many hundreds or thousands of dollars I can that month into that pie. And I tell you what, honestly, if I had put all my money into those M1 Finance pies, which I'll have to show you guys in another video, then honestly that would have made me the most money, because a lot of Meet Kevin's pies have been serious cash cows. But obviously it's good to take some ownership and put some money in, like buying individual stocks too, at least in my opinion. So I have done that as well. So that is what I've done and what has made me successful. What has made me unsuccessful is trying to ride the wave, because you get on the train too late, right? If you try to buy into AMC or GameStop or whatever the next hot stock is, if you get in at the wrong time, you're gonna get hosed. And so I am sitting on some unrealized losses right now in some of those departments where I'm not gonna sell right now, because one, those red tickers in my stock trading apps is a great reminder to me to not sacrifice the fundamentals. And then number 2, there is a very strategic way to sell stocks for a loss, because if you make huge gains on one stock, but you have some losses that you can realize at a certain time coming, like basically what I'm saying is in December of 2021, I could choose to sell some things for a loss to offset some gains for tax purposes. But that is a huge other video, multiple other videos. Probably better to watch some other people's videos on that rather than just kind of taking that one that one little blurb about taxes, right? Because I'm not a CPA, I'm not your CPA, I'm not anyone's CPA. So I just got to make sure I finish this pre-workout on the way to the gym. So I guess the takeaway is stick to the fundamentals. If you're new to the stock market, opening an account like Webull can let you start buying into stocks with relatively low levels of investment and starting to learn. Just, oh, I bought on this day. What if I had bought on that day? Oh, if I bought high, but then I buy it when it's lower, I dollar cost average my way in. Now, you know, $100 and $80 per share averages to $90 per share, which actually puts me profitable or still at a loss. You know, there's tons of things to learn. I love Webull to do that because it gives me a ton of information, very easy to understand, in my opinion. M1 Finance is more of a good way to take a chunk of money, like $1,000, and then shove it into 5, 10, 15, 20, 40 different stocks all at once, so that you're exposed to a pie of stocks, and then that opens you up to, you know, potentially less upside, but definitely less downside as well. So just a different thing to think about. All right, let's talk about TURO. And then I'll give you guys some parting words as far as what's going on right now with the channel, and then what you guys can look forward to. Because today there was no real charger video released because of a few reasons. Okay, so TURO. I get tons of people who ask me, and I know why they ask me, right? They see me with a bunch of different cars, and even one of the cars, a lot of people would bust their balls to work for, right? But TURO is a trap, okay? And the reason it's a trap is because you buy these cars thinking that they're an investment, right? And it goes well. You can have 10, 20, 50 positive trips. You can be making money hand over fist. But TURO's insurance specifically, not only is it a headache if someone... Okay, so here's the kicker. If someone damages your car couple $100, couple $1,000, it's not a big deal. TURO insurance will pay for it, assuming you have insurance through them, right? And that's a whole nother video. Or if someone totals your car, TURO insurance will pay for that, and then you get to kind of wash your hands of the car, and maybe you get a new car, or maybe you just say, hey, I'm good with TURO, I don't need another car, whatever. It gives you a reset button, right? That a total loss is oversimplified, but it's a reset. The real kicker is when someone damages your car to the tune of $10, $15, $30,000, but maybe your car, maybe your Corvette, maybe your Charger is worth 60, 70, 80K, and it doesn't total it out. But now your car has a terrible Carfax. The Carfax, it might as well say a salvage title at that point. Catastrophic, severe damage. TURO's insurance does not give you compensation for diminished value. There is no diminished value clause, and it says that on the website pretty clearly, because I'm sure they've had people that are super angry about it. If you're not cringing right now, let me tighten the screw on you a little bit. Okay, so with numbers here, right? Because math equals understanding. I'm driving a, we'll just say $80,000 HELLCAT right now. Someone, okay, so someone rents it out, $80,000 HELLCAT. They're driving it. Some random person weirdly T-bones them driving my HELLCAT, causes $30,000 worth of damage, okay? I have full coverage with TURO, so Joe Schmo, who was driving it, you know, they maybe pay a deductible. I don't pay any deductible because I carry full coverage, right? TURO pays $30,000 to fix the vehicle. But now this $80,000 HELLCAT was in a $30,000 accident, and now is probably worth somewhere between $50,000 and $80,000, but it's probably a lot closer to $50,000 with the amount of damage it was. So let's say $60,000. So, you know, maybe I made $1,000, maybe I made $2,000 off that cool trip that Joe Schmo took. But now, over the course of that trip, my car has gone from an $80,000 Hellcat to a $60,000 Hellcat, and I do not have anything to show for it because Turo's insurance does not cover that. Whereas most good insurance companies will have diminished value parts of the claim that you would otherwise file. But you can't file that claim with your insurance company because you were not driving and you were using the car for business purposes, right? That's why you have the insurance through Turo. So that is my warning to you. The mathematical reason for you to not do Turo is because you could have 50 successful trips. I've had over 125 5-star trips on Turo, but only a couple of trips have really made the experience something to question. Now, like I said, people say, okay, well then why do you keep doing Turo? Well, I keep doing Turo because one, I have these cars, and sometimes it's good to have them pay for themselves, right? Or double, triple, quadruple monthly payments, right? But 100% honest with you guys, I did not start doing Turo to get rich, to make a ton of money. I started doing Turo because I wanted to learn how to start making money outside of a conventional job. I wanted to participate in the gig economy. I wanted to work on my customer service skills. I wanted to work on my sales skills. I wanted to learn why people say that having a good CPA pays for itself. I wanted to, I guess inadvertently, I wanted to learn how to use lawyers, how to talk to lawyers, how to do all that stuff. So Turo has not afforded me great fortunes. Turo, like real estate may have, you know, real estate is a much more tried and true method of making and building wealth. Cars are obviously depreciating vehicles. I won't call cars an asset because they're really not. Until your car puts money in your pocket and not takes money out of your pocket, it's not an asset. So Turo has been a very, very valuable experience to me, but not primarily for the money. Turo has allowed me to maintain a fleet of vehicles otherwise that I should not have had, right? There's no reason for me to have all these crazy cool cars if you were just looking at me as a normal person, right? As a normal person in the Army. And then Turo has taught me a lot of things, you know, lawyers, CPA, customer service, sales, customer service. Finally gotten me to jump into the YouTube game, into website. All these things, they build on each other, and it is exactly why I flicked the domino into starting my own business, into doing Turo. Now, I'm not trying to convince you guys to not do Turo or to not do anything that involves business. I am all for you guys starting your own business or ramping your own business or whatever it may be, starting a new Instagram page. I don't care. I am just trying to help you guys realize that there are risks with Turo, and you know, it is not always just like, oh, you get a cool crazy car and other people pay for it and you make a ton of money. There is a ton of learning. There is a ton of logistics that go into Turo. There's tons of logistics, especially depending on where you live in relation to your target market. But I think that's enough for the podcast. I'm gonna make some more deliberate videos on Turo, so if you really like the Turo content and you're still watching, be on the lookout for those Turo videos, and you can start following the Turo playlist. I think we'll wrap up today by just this car, this Hellcat wide body is so wide. It's so wide that I have to basically adjust my driving style. Like I can't use some of the entries and exits into parking garages. I can't use some of the turnarounds here because I don't want to curb a wheel or do something worse because this car is so wide. And I know some of you guys might say, okay, well, the car isn't actually that wide, but I mean, I'd rather not have a curved wheel and take one extra minute out of my life to make the U-turn here then use one of these things and potentially curb a wheel. That one wasn't bad. The one up here was, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm always looking for feedback on this podcast style format. I have started to put the things that we will talk about in the title so that you guys can kind of like skim the title and see if you want to give it your time or not. Let me know if this is bringing any value to you guys with this kind of more unfiltered approach to a lot of the things that I do and partake in and am thinking about. And I hope that answers some of your questions about, you know, day trading, Dogecoin, cryptocurrency. We didn't really talk about cryptos that much, but we will talk about it in the next one. So I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you guys for the next drive.